good Sunday afternoon / morning. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to week 17 of the NFL and hopefully your championship week of your fantasy football leagues. My name's John with Pure Adrenaline Fantasy Sports. My co-host is Sean. Sean, how are you this morning?
I'm good, John. How are you?
Good. Once again, we're joined by Payo Time, LA Rams YouTuber. Payo, good morning, good afternoon. How are you?
I am so good, ready for a Rams game today, but also ready. In one of my leagues, I'm in the fantasy championship, and then in another one of my leagues, I'm in the toilet bowl. So big weekend, and that toilet bowl has a punishment. So I'm hoping that I can pull out the W there.
And again, we're with NFL Chaos with Jeremy. Jeremy, how are you?
Doing good. Ready for a very probably long game against Tampa Bay with my Jets, but it's life is good.
Good.
New Year, Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. Good luck to all our YouTube channels in the new year. Hopefully, we all keep growing and reaching our goals and dreams that we have for the year. But lots of news today already coming out. I know we have some players out. We have Kirk Cousins is out. Julio Jones is out. Miles Sanders is out. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is out. Lamar Jackson has been ruled out. Sean, anybody I'm missing so far?
Darren Waller. I know he's on the COVID list. Other than that, I don't believe there's anyone fantasy-wise that should be, unless you're starting Jared Goff.
Which is a possibility, depending on what kind of league you're in. So let's start going through this week's schedule. Everybody plays today, except for Cleveland and Pittsburgh, who I believe is the last. Tomorrow's the last Monday night game of the year. Next week, I believe everybody plays Sunday, and they flex one of the games to the night game, I believe. But let's see, Jacksonville and New England. Guys, any way Jacksonville? Well, there's always a way, but Jacksonville go into New England and upset the Patriots.
I think a lot of things have to go the Jags' way to make anything happen there. I kind of expect this to be a bit of a blowout. The Jags were the get-right game for the Rams and so many other teams this season. I think they're the get-right game for the New England Patriots today.
Yeah, I think it's for the Jags to win. I think you almost have to get them in Max Jones' head. So I think if he has a good game, I don't think the Jaguars can possibly win this game with the Patriots defense playing the way they are.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Trevor Lawrence didn't even look that good against the Jets, and the Jets defense is horrendous and beat up. They didn't even have real safeties. They had a rookie cornerback playing safety, and he still couldn't light him up. So what is he going to do against Belichick? That's probably the biggest lock of the week.
Right, yeah, and Belichick does do a great job against rookie quarterbacks. So then we have Atlanta going into Buffalo. I was watching the CBS, the other pregame show, and it was snowing like crazy out in western New York. So they got some snow for that game. I expect Buffalo. I know Buffalo. I'm not sure if they can win the division today or not, but they currently lead the division after beating New England last week. So your guys' thoughts on Buffalo?
Yeah, I think that Buffalo's obviously you're playing Josh Allen. I think Stephon Diggs is a good play today. It's always tough with that Buffalo running back situation, but like Atlanta's O-line obviously susceptible as well. Matt Ryan's been on the ground a lot, so starting Buffalo's defense is probably a good fantasy play as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's almost like Buffalo's got to just fine-tune the defense a little bit, not giving up a lot of points. And, like, they're playing Atlanta, so it should help them a lot. And they just kind of got to fine-tune everything going into the playoffs and with a win today. And I think if the Patriots were to lose to Jacksonville, I think they clinch the division.
Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about if I'm Buffalo is if I'm a fan, is that after the big game last week, all the emotions that they would come and have a down week. I don't think they would, but that's what I'd worry about. Like, hey, you got to continue to play for your life, but as long as Buffalo's playing for their playoff life, and they should be fine.
Yeah, agreed. Then a big matchup here. This could be a playoff preview here. We have Kansas City going into Cincinnati. I believe Cincinnati can win the division with a win.
Yeah.
Guys, what thoughts on this matchup?
Start everyone in this game, right? You want to start mixing. You're obviously starting Mahomes, starting Burrows. Higgins is a good start today. Tyreek Hill, Kelsey. You got to put in players in this game. I don't know what the over under is on this game, but I'm sure it's probably 55 or more. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. I'm not going to be. I'll have it on in the background, obviously, but yeah, I think it's going to be a high scoring affair.
Yeah, I don't think defense is going to even play a part in this game, honestly. I just think you're going to see a lot of 20, 30-yard bombs down the field, and you might even see a lot of turnovers in this game as well, just from the fact of both quarterbacks are going to be going for it. I know if the Chiefs win, I think they clinch the 1 seed. If Cincinnati wins, I think they clinch the division as well.
Yeah, and I just looked it up. The over-under in this game is 51 points.
Oh, okay, so it's not 55. Okay.
So,
yeah, you're feeling good if whoever you have your fantasy
right.
team. You're starting your Kansas City players. You're starting your Cincinnati players, and then sometimes that's a trap when you're expecting it too much. But I agree. I mean, it should be a shootout.
Yeah, agreed. Then we have the Rams heading into Baltimore. Peo, your thoughts on this one?
Oh man, I'm pumped for this game. I definitely think that you're starting Matt Stafford, Sony Michel. He's been doing good as of late, and he's led the league in rushing in the month of December, and I would comfortably start Sony Michel. I also think, given that this Ravens secondary is questionable at best, starting Van Jefferson and OBJ is a solid option as well. And of course, the best option to play in this game, if you have him, you want to start Cooper Kupp. He has an opportunity to break Calvin Johnson's single season receiving record if he gets over 231 yards. I'm optimistic he can do it. I don't know if he'll get quite there, but I do think he gets at least 150 yards, if not more, in this game. Cooper Kupp is a smash start today.
Honestly, yeah, I'm on your boat there with the 150 yards. So I think that with the Ravens defense beat up, they haven't been able to stop any of the top guys. So that'll be the game changer.
Yeah, this is just not the same Ravens as other years. They're just and the Rams are cruising. They're rolling right along. They got a lot of momentum. They're kind of like an avalanche. So I expect them to come in and just do really well. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see the other receivers, like Kupp. But I think that everyone has the potential to do really well today and put up some points for the Rams.
Yeah, agreed. We have Vegas heading into Indianapolis. Indianapolis is on a roll. They're gonna be a tough matchup in the playoffs. I did see somewhere where Jonathan Taylor was like only 80-something yards away from breaking the Colts single season rushing record. So good matchup. Raiders need a win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Guys, thoughts on this one?
I think that this will be another big win by the Colts. I don't see the Raiders having the talent to keep up with this Colts offense or defense. I guess Wentz is expected to play today, which I think is a good thing. I don't think he's going to have to do a lot in this game, though. I think that between Jonathan Taylor and Hines, the Colts offense will be able to sustain drives, keep them alive on the field, And I don't expect this to be a mind-boggling, high-scoring affair. But obviously you're starting Jonathan Taylor, but I think Michael Pittman is also startable for the Colts as well. With the Raiders, I think the only one you'd consider starting is maybe Darren Waller, but I guess he's not playing today. You were saying, Sean?
No, he's on the COVID list.
Oh,
and he's coming back from being injured, and he was getting ready to play. And I think Monday he got hit with the COVID.
Is there anyone else you can start in this game for the Raiders?
Hunter Renfro.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I almost said Runner Renfro.
Runner Renfro.
Hunter Renfro. He's the go-to guy probably since the beginning of the year. He's kind of locked himself in there. I wouldn't trust Josh Jacobs enough. Indy has shown that they can stop the run pretty easily. So I would think Hunter Renfro is probably the only go-to guy. On a limb, if you need a tight end to start, Moreau for the Raiders, he's not too bad. I mean, he's decent enough to probably get you enough points today if you need him to, if you don't have anyone else.
Yeah, I think Hunter Renfro might get some garbage time too.
Mm-hmm.
Like he might benefit from that by the middle of the third quarter, because I think I just don't think I agree. The Raiders don't have a lot of weapons, so if they're behind and trailing, they're just going to have to go to him all the time if they're throwing the ball. And he's the best Jonathan Taylor, is the best running back in football right now. I mean, he's just amazing. He's unbelievable. Obviously, you start him, and and I don't think the running game right now. Don't count on a running game and an offensive line like that to have a slump.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, without no doubt, is probably top 3 candidate for MVP. I would put him with Cooper Kupp and Aaron Rodgers, honestly, as the 3 best players to win it.
Yeah, and I just looked. I do have Taylor projected at 25 carries, 110 yards, and at least 1 touchdown on the ground today. Vegas is 29th against fantasy running backs. So, yeah, definitely a big game from Taylor today. Guys, anything on this game before we move on? No? Then we have Miami heading into Tennessee. Miami right now does hold the last playoff spot in the AFC, so they're going to want to win there. But Tennessee needs a win as well for the division. So, guys, your thoughts on this one? I actually, fantasy-wise, I like Mike Gesicki to have a big game today. But what do you guys think?
Jalen Waddle is going to score a touchdown, and he's going to do another penguin dance. I think he is by far taken over from Jamar Chase as being the offensive rookie of the year. I just think Jalen Waddle, for missing the games he's missed, he's about to break the receptions record, I think, for rookies, and being on a Miami offense that started 1-7, and they're now 8-7. He's kind of been the go-to guy for Tua and Brissett when he was playing at quarterback to get the offense rolling.
And I know, Sean, you're in our fantasy league. I know you're in the championship this week, but the guy you're playing does have Waddle. I was watching along on Monday night. I think, were they the Monday night game when Waddle just kept getting the ball like every other play?
Yeah, he was the go-to guy for Tua, and I mean, I'm hoping he has a big game for Miami's purposes, but I mean, if he doesn't, for my fantasy championship hopes, then that's fine. But I got faith in my other guys to keep up with that hope.
Yeah. I think that's great. I think that's a great game. But yeah, I mean, hey man, this he's the MVP of the Miami Dolphins right now, Waddle. So he should win Rookie of the Year. He's had the biggest impact on his team. They've made history, like losing 7 and then winning 7. I would definitely feel good. And I always like Gesicki as a receiving tight end if you don't have one of the premier guys. He always he seems to be a really good receiving tight end, so he puts up points where it matters. That's how Miami uses it. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I think Gesicki is a go-to guy, and I would watch out for Tennessee with A.J. Brown. he's without Julio Jones. Who else really gets the ball? They don't really have the running game going without Derrick Henry. And I think Tennessee wins the division today if they win the game. So they're going to be trying to go for that. I just don't know if Ryan Tannehill can do what he did last week against San Francisco and start slow and hopefully in the second half come back. I don't think he'll do that against a Miami defense.
Yeah, I feel like this is like the feel-good bowl, right? You have like the resilient Dolphins that started 1-7 and now they're 8-7, and everyone's talking about how they lost 7, then they won 7. Then you have the Tennessee Titans who like lost their best player early in the season, and yet they're still there with a chance to win the division today. And so yeah, there's a lot of storylines in this game, and I don't know fantasy implications. I think there are a lot of risks in this game to take. Like I think both Tua and Tannehill, I'm not super excited about starting either of them, but like I think they're startable if you need someone. And then obviously you're starting Waddle and AJ Brown as your receivers, but like are you gonna start Myles Gaskin at running back or like any of the Tennessee running backs? I don't know.
I don't know if you could trust any running backs from this game. There's so much inconsistency that it's hard to trust anybody. If one person gets the ball and they have a good drive, they might get the ball for the next 3 drives for all you know.
Exactly.
So then we have the Giants heading into Chicago to face the Bears. I don't know if this game really matters for the Giants. They own the Bears' first round pick anyway. So is there? I didn't look much into this game. Is there anybody even worth putting in your fantasy lineups today if you're playing for a championship?
I mean,
Cole Kmet, if you need a tight end, maybe.
Oh, maybe Cole Kmet. Yeah.
You could start probably either defense because they're probably you're gonna get a few sacks, few turnovers. Maybe the reporter from the other day asking Saquon Barkley if he wanted to burn down the Bears Soldier Field. Maybe he'll get Saquon Barkley annoyed enough to want to go out and run for 200 yards today. But I don't know if you can really trust anybody on the offensive side of the ball on either side of this team, especially because you don't know what you're going to even get or expect from this game.
Yeah, this is absolutely just a joke. I mean, it really is. I mean, the Giants are a mess right now. That organization is just unbelievable. Probably the worst it's been in maybe like as bad as any of their teams in history. Really, they're just a mess right now. And yeah, I mean, it's not like the Bears are exciting anyone. It's like impossible to. It's just like the Dud Bowl or something.
I'm not gonna lie. As a content creator who talks about the NFL and football, the Giants are one of my favorite teams this season.
Because of the Coke, because they gave out a Coca-Cola to every season.
Oh, so much to talk about, from bad coaching to the medium soda scandal. Love it.
And
what was it? It was like it had to be whoever's name was on the season tickets. So if you gave your tickets to somebody, they couldn't even get the soda.
Yeah,
and if you bought it off StubHub or something, or I'm shocked with the NFL. This wasn't like a primetime game. Because they love making primetime games the most boring things possible. So this should be one of this would probably get their ratings through the roof because people would just be watching it just to make fun of them.
I could just see like all the like NFL Network, they would hype it up of like 2 historic franchises meet in prime time.
It's just there's nothing out of that game that could possibly come about other than draft picks improving, or you might be able to start somebody on your bench and get a hope and pray that he does something, but like you can't. Sterling Shepard's injured, Tony's injured on the Giants. Is Booker going to outperform Barkley again? It's just there's so many things from this game. It's just one of those games that if it was on TV, everyone's taking a nap.
Yeah, and these are possibly like two of the worst offensive lines in football too, right?
Pretty close to it. It's
Yeah, I know the
Yeah.
Giants are bad.
Yeah, the Giants
Well,
offensive lines.
yeah, they're both pretty bad.
So I'm actually surprised we spent that much time on that game.
See,
But-
love the
but,
Giants.
We have the Eagles heading to DC to play the Washington football team. The Eagles right now are the 7th seed in the NFC, where Washington is about 11th or 12th and needs a lot of help. But winning this game would be a start. But I expect the Eagles. To win this game. Let's see here. Somebody for the Eagles was out. I saw Miles Sanders was out. Besides Hurts, anybody else, and Goddard maybe, anybody else worth using in your fantasy league this week?
Devonta Smith,
Yeah,
Oh, Smith, yeah.
And
long shot. Jordan Howard.
And
Either
I thought
Howard
he
or-
was questionable, so I don't know what his status is.
No, he was guaranteed. He was promoted to play, so
Oh, okay.
he's good to go. He said.
Do you guys think in like a deep league you might consider Boston Scott and also like with Gibson out, maybe McKissick?
McKissick is injured.
Who's because I know Gibson's out. Who's going to be starting for Washington then?
I think I mentioned it to John. I think it was Jarrett Patterson or something.
Oh,
Their third string.
big name.
Big name.
He'll be the guy that goes off for day for 250,
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, like
Right.
unstoppable. Can't
Yeah.
no one brings him down. Like he is just bulldozing everybody. But no, I think the Eagles today with a win, and I believe if Minnesota loses, and I think if the Niners win, I believe the NFC playoffs are all locked up. I believe because of the Eagles would have a 2-game lead, the Niners would have a 2-game lead. So I believe if the Eagles and Niners win today, and Minnesota loses tonight, I think the playoffs for NFC side is done. Besides what rank you are and who you play, possibly because. I mean, I think anything can change with those. Besides, I think the only one that could be a lock would be, I think, Green Bay could clinch the 1 seed tonight. That's it.
But I'm
Yeah,
hoping
and
that Green Bay
I didn't hear what
loses
you
their
said.
next 2 games,
Oh,
and
go
Dallas loses a game, so then the Rams get the number 1 seed.
Why? What's it matter? Everybody goes into Green Bay for the championship game anyway and wins. So
And
what's
you go
the
to
difference?
Super Bowl, so you want to go into Green Bay.
Right.
Fair.
The Super Bowl runs through Green Bay,
Right.
Fair.
literally.
Exactly. So yeah, I was looking to see. I guess if the Vikings, Falcons, and Saints all lost today, the NFC would pretty much be all wrapped up except for positioning.
Yeah, and if the Eagles win and Minnesota loses, then that means I got to wear a Eagles jersey next weekend, and I'm not happy.
Oh, will you be doing that on the live stream?
No, absolutely not. You'll be lucky to see a photo of it, but that's about it.
Why, you wear other teams' jerseys? I've seen you wear other teams' jerseys.
I do, but I will never wear. I don't like wearing Eagles. I don't like my most hated team. I hate.
So, what game do we have next? Tampa Bay heading into the Meadowlands to play the Jets. Hopefully the last time the Jets will ever have to play Tom Brady. Jeremy, as the Jet fan, the fellow Jet fan here, I'd like to hear your takes on this one.
Well, I think the only one that you could start for the Jets, and it's risky against Tampa's defense, is Michael Carter, and I think the reason for that is, I just think it's the only outlet they have. Like they don't have tight ends. They don't have. I mean, their receivers. It's going to be a really rough, tough, hard day for them. I see Michael Carter possibly getting a lot of receptions, like small ones. So if it's if you get points for receptions, I think they're going to dump it off a lot to him. He's going to be the safety valve. And he's always a risk no matter who the defense is to break one. So he always gives you that hope that he'll break one. He's that kind of running back. He's really the only Jet I can imagine starting offensively. I would definitely take the Tampa defense in that game. Like I would start that. If you have Tampa's defense, you start that defense.
Right. Yeah.
No
Agreed.
question about it. No question about it. It's gonna be a long day for the Jets. It's not gonna be pretty.
Yeah.
But hey, you never know. Tom Brady throws 2-3 pick sixes.
Yeah,
You're right in it.
that happens all the time.
Yeah, 2 or 3. He said 2 or 3 pick sixes.
Hey, you just
And
need
we're still
2
in
or
it.
3. You're still in it. Now, I think if you had the Jets at they lose within 4 touchdowns, I think that's a lock.
What? We're losing by 4 touchdowns?
No, lose within 4.
Oh. I don't know. What do you guys? How about Ronald Jones? If you guys have him, are you playing him? Jets are 32nd against fantasy running backs. So I know they're bad against tight ends as well. So Gronk and Brake could have a big day. What are you thinking of anybody on Tampa Bay?
I think you can only play like Ronald Jones if you were counting on your running back in like Clyde Edwards-Helaire or like Gibson, and you're scrambling to find someone to play. But there are definitely better options out there.
I just don't know if you want to start anyone on Tampa Bay for the fact that if they get a lead, taking everyone out. They did it last week in the fourth quarter already. In the beginning of the fourth quarter, they started taking everybody out. So it's like for fantasy implications, I wouldn't trust enough anybody because if they go up 3-4 scores, they're not going to leave Tom Brady in there to get injured, or Antonio Brown or Mike Evans or Ronald Jones, knowing that they don't have anyone behind them.
That's a messy game to have fantasy players in for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Michael Carter can get you some points if they start.
Yeah.
Right. Then we have Houston heading to San Francisco. Houston has won 2 in a row. San Francisco looks like San Francisco lost last week. So, but I expect San Francisco to win this week. Your guys' thoughts on this one?
Don't sleep on Houston. They
coming off a 41-point performance.
Yeah, they played spoiler to the Chargers last week and threw their chances at the AFC West division away. So could they play spoiler for the Niners and possibly hurt their stock at meeting a 5 seed and could be dropping down maybe?
I would love that.
Who's the starting quarterback for the Niners?
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
Is it Trey Lance? I know Jimmy G's injured.
Yeah, Trey Lance.
Yeah, I've seen multiple reports that Trey Lance is starting today.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
See, that's a wild card because we don't know.
Yeah.
So,
hey, what's up, Benjamin?
Oh, sorry. Yo, Benjamin. What's up? If you got any questions, put them in the chat there. Thanks for watching. Then we have Denver heading to LA to face the Chargers. Man, I don't have the AFC standings in front of me, but I'm sure both teams need a win here to stay alive. But fantasy implications. What are you guys thinking today? I know is Williams playing for the Chargers?
Yeah, Williams is back. Both Williams are back for Broncos and Chargers.
The Broncos backfield is so annoying because they have two, great running backs in Gordon and Williams, and then they're like always on the injury report, and then they always play, and you're just not exactly sure what happens.
Well, it's because they run them 40 times combined a game, and they throw 20 times, so those guys are getting destroyed over and over and over. For the Chargers, I think if they win today, they lock themselves into the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they could do that depending on how the 1 o'clock games fall. But for the Broncos, they need a lot of help to get into the playoffs. But with Drew Lock at quarterback, I believe, I don't know if you could trust anyone.
Yeah.
I agree.
Johnny, was it Benjamin here? He's going to want to talk about the Cardinals-Cowboys game. He's a huge Cardinals fan.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the next game that's up on the list here is the Cardinals-Cowboys. Man, I I haven't looked at this one honestly, so I don't want to say. I know Hopkins is still out. I know they're hoping to get him back for the playoffs, but Dallas is still fighting for the number 1 seed. So what do you guys think of this one?
Very bad timing for the Cardinals. Very, very bad timing. Not the right week to be playing Dallas.
I think Arizona, this is a must win for them almost. I think it's a guarantee. You got to go in there and you got to beat Dallas in Dallas. But the Dallas crowd's going to be loud. And Kyler Murray, the last few weeks, I think they started, 7-0 and are 3-5 since. So I don't know. With Micah Parsons on and Diggs on defense, I just don't know if the Cowboys defense right now can be stopped. They're just rolling on full all cylinders and going all about. And I think they beat Arizona today with no issues.
See, and Sean, I hear you. I see what you're saying. Let me just paint a little picture here for you. And I'm probably wrong. But would it not be the most Dallas Cowboys thing ever to come off of a amazing performance like that, where you got like 50 some points, and then come against a Cardinals team who has struggled the past 3 games? They're on a 3-game losing streak. Would it not be the most Dallas Cowboys thing ever to lose this game? And just let down their fan base. I could totally see Dallas losing this game, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping that we need the Rams to lose just a minute. Oh, don't worry, Benjamin. The Rams will take care of business in Baltimore. Don't worry. But I honestly think this is going to be a good game. I don't see Dallas putting up 50 some points on this Cardinals team. I do believe the Cardinals are going to be in this game. I think it's going to come down to 1 score late, and I think your Cowboys fans and Cardinals fans, have your defibrillators ready.
Just as much, I think it wouldn't be a surprise to see Dallas lose that game. And I know what you're saying over the bunch of years, the way they found ways to do that. It's also kind of like the trend of Arizona, though, right? It's fall apart at the end. So,
right.
I just think Dallas going into the playoffs, playing too good right now is not a good thing. You want to go into the game with kind of the reality check. Mm-hmm. So I just don't know. I think Dallas will do their typical. We get into playoffs. This is our year, and we hit a wall in week 1 wild card weekend. So, and if the way the games go right, depending on how they fall, Dallas could end up playing Arizona even in the playoffs for wild card weekend. So it could just be where do you play? Are you playing in Arizona or are you playing in Dallas?
Right. But what about fantasy wise on Arizona? You have guys like Christian Kirk. Dallas, you have Cooper. Maybe their defense today. Anybody else? You got Dak. What do you think of the matchup fantasy wise?
Arizona wise, other than Kyler Murray and Christian Kirk, just don't know if you can trust Connor coming back from injury, Edmonds, or Ertz.
I think in deeper leagues, Edmonds, I think could be startable just because I think he gets more work than Connor today because of Connor's injury. And then I also think that because of that Dallas pass rush, the Cardinals are going to have to use their screen game a lot today, which they tend to use Edmonds a little bit more in that.
Yeah. Yep. Good call.
Yeah. Well, I know Connor, they said he's a game time decision, so they could lead that up to very end, but fantasy implications, you don't want to hear that because if you have Connor in, and you only have other people for 1 o'clock, you can't really trust that. So that's the only thing that's bad about 4 o'clock games and 1 o'clock playoff implication people. So it's a far stretch, but on Dallas side of the ball, you could start pretty much anybody. I mean, Dak, Lamb, Schultz, Pollard, Elliott, Cooper, their defense, even Zerline. I mean, last week alone, he got 12 points just kicking extra points. So it's just this is a really like questionable game just because you don't know what could come out of it. It could be a defense versus defense. It could be offense versus offense sort of game.
Yeah, agreed. Then the next game we have Carolina heading to New Orleans to play the Saints. Not sure about this one. I'm not sure any besides Kamara. Is there any fantasy options in this one?
Sam Darnold. Come on.
Good. I'm sorry. Good fantasy options.
I don't think you start anybody on either side of the ball.
Not Kamara?
It's with Taysom Hill being back, it's just his red zone and end zone possibilities are down. But even last week with Ian Book playing on Monday night, they still didn't even use Kamara to the way that you would think they would use him to. Yeah. So you just can't trust. I don't know if you can trust the Saints enough. Honestly, I think this is the second to last weekend for Sean Payton in New Orleans, honestly.
Okay.
The biggest starts here are the defenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, this game has like punt fest written all over it.
Mm.
I hope Carolina finds a way to win that game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, due for a win. They've lost 5 in a row.
Yeah.
They were 5-5. Now they're 5-10. So, definitely looking for a win there. Then we have Detroit heading to Seattle. Guys, thoughts on that one? I know Jeremy's rooting for Detroit this week.
I've never rooted for the Lions so hard in my life as I will today.
Tim Boyle's going to go into Lumen Field and light them up. No, I really think this is, again, with New Orleans, with Sean Payton, I think this is it towards the end for Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson's relationship. Mm-hmm. And I really think this is the ending. First losing season in both teams, or both the coach and Russell Wilson, and since 2011, since he entered the league. So it's crazy to think that Russell Wilson not being on Seattle, but there's a lot of places that could use a Russell Wilson right now. But I just think with his injury in the beginning of the year, that kind of started tumbling downwards, and the team didn't play at all that great and kept losing, and then they rush him back, and then they play even worse with Russell Wilson being back now. So, and they lost to Nick Foles and the Chicago Bears at home. So I think Detroit playing good enough right now. I think they can go in and beat Seattle and without even Jared Goff.
I know, Jeremy, last week I was watching your live stream during the Bears comeback against the Seahawks. So yeah, I mean, Seattle, man, when the Jets made that trade a couple years ago, you thought, you know what? I mean, our picks are going to be, in the 20s, maybe 30s, and this year we're gonna get a first round pick from Seattle that most likely is going to be in the top 10.
Yeah. I mean, I'm rooting for Detroit. I don't see it. I thought Russell Wilson played really well last week, probably his best game since he got back from his injury. He's finally starting to throw and look like himself again. The only way I see Detroit pulling up that upset is just heart, like just that Seattle has their issues with Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll, and like maybe they just completely start to crumble that way, and the Lions are actually coming more together in the locker room, and like it would take heart to beat them. They're not going to beat them on talent, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Detroit is the worst 3-win team ever. It's just they could honestly have 7, 8 wins this year, probably, if any luck goes their way. I mean, Baltimore, the field goal. Minnesota, they lost the first game on a field goal. Yeah. You figured they lost a few other games in between just by last-minute scoring. It's just, if luck would go their way a little bit, they probably could be in playoff contention the way the NFC's standings are. So I just think that they're going to finish the year out strong this week and next week, maybe end with 4 wins and
That would
And
be
go-
great, actually.
and go in, and then Detroit goes into next year with a better team and knowing what they have. And for Seattle, I just think they're gonna probably lose the year out, and everything's just gonna be trade pieces at this point.
Yeah, just to make it clear, the reason why it's so important when I say as hard for Detroit as I ever have, it's not just Seattle losing in their pick. It's that we want Detroit to get to 4 wins because it would move the Jets ahead of them
Right.
in the draft, assuming we win out. So it's like this double thing. It's like it could lead to helping both of our picks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the Jets will just take some linemen though that they don't want early in the picks. That seems to be their motto lately. Or even Detroit, they'll
You
take
don't
some.
know. You don't know nothing about the
We
Jets.
want
Don't talk
edge.
about
We
my
want
team.
edge. We
Hey,
want one of those 2 edge rushers.
Hey,
Taking 2 of them.
Man, what are first round picks even? Like I don't even. That's
yeah,
foreign language to me. I don't even know what you're talking about.
you haven't seen one of those since 2013.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna do a- I'm gonna do
2016
a-
to be specific. It was a guy named Jared Goff.
I'm not gonna do a mock draft with Peo in the offseason. He's not gonna get to pick till like pick 65.
Yeah.
That's pushing it. I was thinking
Actually,
more like
it's-
90.
It's worse than that. I think their first pick is like pick 105 or something.
Yeah, I don't think they have one till like the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah.
We have a
Yep.
3rd round pick. Yeah.
So
That they haven't traded away yet.
yeah.
And it's a
Yeah,
comp
yeah.
pick that we haven't actually received yet, but we're gonna get it.
Oh god.
Possibly. It's possible. They might get it. They might not. They might feel bad for him and be like, all right, well, you didn't get a pick for the first 120. So here you go.
No,
Yeah.
it's a projected 3rd round, or because of Brad Holmes getting hired by the Lions, it'll be a 3rd round for sure.
Let me look here. I actually have Tankathon up on the thing. So let me look to see.
Yeah, gentlemen, though, I gotta go. I gotta get ready for my watch party coming up here at 1. But always a pleasure. Wish you guys all the best, and I hope you have a beautiful day enjoying some good football today.
Hey,
Yeah,
thanks for joining us. Good luck to your Rams today.
Yep, get your peanut butter cups ready because it could be a 3-touchdown game and a record-breaking game.
Hey, attaboy, John. Attaboy. Yeah.
Good luck, Peo. I'll drop in and say hello too.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Catch
Good
you guys
luck to the
later.
Rams.
Go Rams. Yeah, horns up.
So let's see here. Benjamin Sylvie, all we need to step up on defense, a little on offense. Matt Prater needs to do better too. But especially defense. We went from like 4th in defense to 24th. Wow. That's a drop. So
Yeah, but I
Go
look
ahead.
at it as the fact though Arizona's schedule got harder as the season
Mhm.
went on.
yeah.
They played all the easy teams early, so I think once they started playing the division teams, that's when it really showed what, especially with the Rams and all that, and then now Dallas, Indianapolis. It's just the defense is playing harder offenses now.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the year, a lot of offenses weren't sure what they had yet either with a
And
lot of the new pieces.
And not having Hopkins has definitely hurt.
Yeah, but it also has shown that he's not the safe blanket at all times for Kyler Murray. I mean, he's now AJ Green stepped up, Zach Ertz. They have 2 running backs out of the backfield, but I think the injury is just stacking up for them with Kyler Murray being out the 3-4 weeks he was. Hopkins has been out half the year. Got Ertz at the trade deadline. Edmonds injured halfway through the year. Connor now is banged up. It's just you're going into the wrong time of the year to be banged up and injured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. But then the Sunday night game, we have.
We don't need to talk about this.
Yeah, we do. We
don't
have
need to talk about
the Minnesota Vikings going into Green Bay. Kirk Cousins now being out. Sean,
Why do we
I
gotta talk about
I
it?
know you're torn on this because you want to make the playoffs, but you also want your head coach fired. So, I mean,
We're gonna
isn't
fire
this
him
a
after
good
this
thing?
game.
Isn't this a good thing?
Just fire him after the game. Fire him before the game. No, I don't know. This game could get ugly. I mean, you might not see a lot of offense from Minnesota. You might see the punter on the field more than we have pass attempts. So I don't know. There's a lot of turmoil after last week's game with the Rams and how bad they started. There's video showing the Vikings not even like giving any attempt for a pregame workout, and then Zimmer trying to fire them up, and then you go out the first 3-4 drives and you do absolutely nothing. You turn over in a red zone that turns the points, and you're down 10, 15 points the whole game. And then after the game, Justin Jefferson came out saying that it's just they don't know how to run the offense good enough. And I think that's turmoil and a lot of stuff coming around now. So I think the owners are finally starting to see that Mike Zimmer is not the answer that we've all been saying as Minnesota fans for the past 6 years. I mean, even the year we went to the NFC Championship and lost to the Eagles 38-7 there, it's just there was a lot of luck that year. Aaron Rodgers got injured that year. So
they made that unbelievable play to end the one game against the Saints.
Listen, that game there, I already took all my gear off. I already was about to turn the TV off, and then that happened, and I was just like, I don't really know what to expect. And then knowing that you're going into Philadelphia, you're not going to play great. But honestly, I wouldn't start anybody on Minnesota's side of the ball. It's a risk to even start Dalvin Cook, knowing that the offense is going to rely a lot on him. And Green Bay knows that. So they're going to force Sean Mannion to have to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
On Green Bay side of the ball, start their defense, start Aaron Rodgers, definitely starting Devonta Adams. I mean, the guy's probably going to go off for about 30 tonight, fantasy points that is. Start A.J. Dillon or Aaron Jones if you have them. Just the only hope Minnesota has tonight is to force the defense to force Aaron Rodgers to have turnovers. And honestly, I don't know if that you really can get Aaron Rodgers to have turnovers.
Yeah. Jeremy, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, Sean is the expert, and he's saying it. Kirk Cousins to me was having a really good year quietly. And as much as, and I know I have other friends that are Minnesota fans, and there's very mixed feelings about Kirk Cousins, but this is when you're going to see how important he is until you have someone better. It's going to be ugly, and that's going to give Green Bay a lot of offensive opportunities. So you just want to start your Green Bay offensive players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honestly, I think this could be if Kirk Cousins. I said this to you, John, the other day. If Kirk Cousins is on any other team, MVP race,
mm-hmm.
the numbers
Right.
he's putting up. If he's on Tampa Bay, Indianapolis, Kansas City. I mean, he's even the Rams. He's an MVP front runner. He's up there with the numbers, the touchdown to turnover ratio. It's just the defense has let us down so very much, or the offense just didn't perform enough late in the games, and it's just they've had so many leads this year, and they get lackluster, and they just don't care enough. So I think this is the end for Cousins and Zimmer. I think both will be gone in the offseason. I think Minnesota is going to eat a lot of the contract for Cousins, and I think they might even try to pick up free agency. I mean, it's now you're in a time where you want a mobile quarterback, and not having a non-mobile quarterback in Kirk Cousins and being a pocket quarterback, it's not working.
I heard Sam Darnold might be available.
No,
Actually, I have already started to hear that.
he's a
Minnesota, or Darnold to Minnesota.
Darnold does not go into Minnesota. The only thing Darnold is going to is free agency because he's going to get released. If Sam Darnold goes to Minnesota, I will absolutely get rid of everything I own in Minnesota. If you said that.
And no, Sean, I haven't heard that, so I don't.
Nah, I wouldn't be shocked if honestly they don't try to get Jimmy G. Or trying to go and get like Taylor Heineke off of Washington. Even Tua maybe from Miami, trying to get him. I wouldn't even mind having Derek Carr from Las Vegas. It's just you need a quarterback that isn't going to crumble, and that's a head coach also you need. But there's possibilities. I honestly, there's a few people out there that I wouldn't mind being in Minnesota, and hopefully some coaches get relieved of their duties, and Minnesota can relieve our coach of their duties and go get them.
If Kirk Cousins left Minnesota, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers would be all over him. Personally,
Yeah, I heard that they could be possible because they'll have the cap space to do so without Ben Roethlisberger being there. So there's a few teams. I also heard maybe Seattle even for Russell Wilson swapping quarterbacks, and I wouldn't mind that as well. This has been the most up and down year as a Minnesota fan. Just there was a lot of probability of being a great team, and just the head coach has let us down as a overall.
Mm-hmm. So then the last Monday night game of the year, we have Cleveland heading into Pittsburgh. Both teams needing a win. So the loser probably zero chance at the playoffs if they lose. I know there was talk of Kareem Hunt maybe being able to come back. But guys, fantasy implications in this one.
Start Nick Chubb, and that's probably about it.
Yeah, maybe Freiermuth at tight end. If you're at that point, if he's your best guy, I mean, I don't think that's ever bad. I mean, he's always good possibility for a touchdown.
I don't know.
But what about? Go ahead, Sean.
Both offenses are just very inconsistent. Maybe Deontay Johnson. I'd probably stay away from like a Chase Claypool. Jarvis Landry is probably a go-to for Baker Mayfield. But the only guaranteed lock I would want to start from this game is Nick Chubb. He's the only upside player for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. I do like Harris this week for Pittsburgh. I know Cleveland's 11th against fantasy running backs, but I expect Harris to have 80-plus yards on the ground this week. So, guys, we're here at week 17, which is weird because it's going to be a week 18 next week. But most fantasy leagues are over this week. We're going to keep going with our live streams here, but guys, what have been your surprises so far, team wise, in the NFL? What do you think?
If I had to pick anybody, it'd probably be both teams are out of the AFC East, and being as New England and Miami. I don't think anyone had New England as a team to compete this year at all with Mac Jones. Everyone said Mac Jones wasn't even going to be a good quarterback for New England, and then they released Cam Newton, and then it all started bad, 1-4, and then they went on that 7-game win streak, and then with Miami start 1-7, and now you're 8-7, and you're the last seed in the playoffs. It's crazy to think that any team could possibly get a 7-game losing streak and then rebound the exact next 7 games as with a 7-game win streak.
Yeah, for me, I would say on the negative side, Seattle's a surprise. Obviously, I didn't expect them to have such a bad year. That's pretty shocking to me. Last thing I expected, actually. And then I would say I expected the Niners to be better this year too. I thought that they were going to have a big bounce back year, so I'm a little surprised that they got hot a little bit, but again, they struggled more than I thought they would. I thought they'd be a much easier spot in the playoffs and everything.
Yeah, I think another team that's shocking everyone. They go from being the fifth worst team last year to being possibly division champs is Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You swept Baltimore, you swept Pittsburgh, and you're possibly on the ability to beat the 1 seed today and clinch the division at home. So no one, I don't think anyone predicted Cincinnati to be even possible playoff contention. I know they had the third worst odds to start the year out of the teams. So possibly be able to say they made the playoffs, and the way their offense and defense is playing, they could beat anybody any given week.
Hey guys, I gotta run. Get ready to Gun Jet Nation. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Jeremy, thanks for joining us again. So, yeah, Sean, what do you think? Any surprise quarterbacks today?
Tyler Huntley.
Let me put them up on the screen. I'm sorry, who did you say?
I think Tyler Huntley. I think he's gonna
Baltimore.
Yeah, he's gonna have to perform really well, and he's gonna have to be the quarterback that they expect him to be to keep that offense moving.
Yeah.
For looking at a player that could be a dud today, Josh Allen, with the weather conditions in Buffalo, I don't know if his value will be that high. If you're in a championship match, I would not want to play him today. Honestly, I just wouldn't trust it enough.
Right, and that's one of the things when I created these projections. I don't have a way to factor in weather. So I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, you never know. During the pregame, they were showing it was snowing like crazy there at the stadium. So who knows what the conditions will be like during the game. But yeah, I actually expect Aaron Rodgers to have a big game today. I know he's fifth on the list here, but I expect them to make. I know Cousins is out for Minnesota, but they're going to want to put a statement. They're going to want to put a statement game up tonight, saying, you know what, we don't care what's going on. You're not going to come into Green Bay and think you're going to have a shot at beating us.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no answer for what's going to happen tonight, and it's just going to be a lot of question marks for sure. But looking at the running backs today, for people that I think could have a really good game, is Austin Eckler. I think he's destined to have a really good game. For someone
even against Denver, I mean, Denver is 10th against running back, so I mean it's a tough matchup.
Yeah, I just think he's still going to have at least a decent game. It's Austin Eckler, and he runs the offense pretty much. The offense rolls around him and everything. So I like him for sure. The player I don't know if he's going to have a great game is Rex Burkhead. I just don't know if he can against San Francisco's defense. But other than that, I think watch for Jonathan Taylor to start another touchdown streak and watch him continue to keep going off the way he is.
Yeah, man, and I didn't looking at it, I didn't realize it till this morning. I have Taylor projected at 110 rushing yards today.
I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't have 110.
Early third quarter, I'm calling it now.
You're a little out there if you think by the third quarter he's going to have that much.
No, in the third quarter, not by the third quarter.
Yeah,
sometime during the third, he'll get to that point, and they'll probably sit him for a lot of the fourth.
Yeah, but Vegas is one of those teams they could compete just enough to stay in it.
Yeah. Any surprise wide receivers?
I'd watch for Ron St. Brown to have a really good game. He is, for a rookie, he's been coming on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'd watch out for Jamar Chase to have another letdown game. Kansas City is going to be double teaming him probably.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then I do have T. Higgins as the second ranked wide receiver this week. So they're not going to be able to cover both. So
Yeah. I don't know if Jamar Chase is going to be able to have another great game. He usually has a good game and then one letdown game, and I think this is about to be the letdown game.
So, how about thoughts on tight ends here, real quick?
Mark Andrews, I think he goes off again. And Travis Kelce, a player that you have down there a little towards the bottom with being George Kittle. I think he has a breakout game as well.
Oh, Kittle, yeah.
Yeah, Kittle is just he's the top in the top 5 for tight ends for every week, every year.
Yeah, yep. So, good luck. I know you're in our fantasy championship this week. Good luck. You're going for back-to-back championships. So I did put a list together before we go here of today being our first stream of the new year. But I wanted to look to see. I don't know what I did with it here. Maybe I got rid of it. Oh well. That's all right. Maybe we'll talk about it on Thursday. We'll be back Thursday. I'll be back Thursday. I don't know if you'll be joining me.
Yeah.
But yeah, good luck in fantasy again. And
Yep. Thank you.
guys, thanks for watching and enjoy the games today.
Yep. Enjoy. Good luck, everyone.
Yep. Good luck.